Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. Hey, Jamie, how are you? Welcome back. I haven't seen you in forever. Hey, Carm, how are you? So glad to see you. So glad to see you. And so ready to get artsy. How about all of you? That's for sure. Hey, Carol. Good morning. So, we have lots to blab about, as always. Hey, Sue. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sue, did you happen to buy the art printable twice? This morning's art printable? Aunt Marie? I think that you might have. Candy Fraser, how are you? I haven't seen you in forever and a day. Well, gosh, Sue, you didn't need to. I emailed it to you, but I think, do you have two email addresses? I think I might have mailed it to the I think I might have emailed it to the, not your Suki email address, the other Sue email address. Candy, how is everyone? Yeah, so check your other email address and then I'll see if I can figure out how to refund you your money for one of those. Sorry. So, I hope everyone is having a fine Tuesday morning. I am, certainly. I'm going to have lunch with a old friend today, and who I haven't seen, since way before the pandemic. I swear, isn't that like how we measure time now? Before the pandemic, after the pandemic, it's crazy. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. Thank you, Sue. That's so nice. I know. I need to talk to Susan so we can get something planned, get something on the books, because I'm ready for an artsy trip. That's for sure. So I wanted to talk today a little bit, well, a lot of things, actually. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so loud here. The lawn people just arrived, and they're using the squeaky hose, and Jeff's up and down the stairs, so it's just another day in this neighborhood, that's for sure. So I wanted to talk about the calendar really quick because this Saturday is Let's Get Artsy Together Apart. We're bringing back the Artist Study Series. And so this Saturday, we are going to be paying tribute to Frida Kahlo because today is her birthday. She would have been 119 years old. So we're going to pay tribute to the artist and her art and her life Saturday at 9 o'clock on the Corbiere-Scott Designs Facebook page. That's a free art journaling class where we study artists and then get inspired by their artwork and create artwork in our art journals. So I really want everybody to jump back into that because, come on, what could be more fun than that? Not much. But I wanted to remind everybody that next week, the newsletter is going to go out on Thursday, the 15th, because Friday I am going out of town. So I will be gone the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and I'll be home on the 20th, but I think it might be late. So our pop and paint party will be adjusted to Wednesday and Thursday of that week. And then we're going to stack 2 classes again on the 24th. We're going to have whimsical lettering and Let's Get Artsy with our Bibles. And then the 25th is Inspire Your Heart with Art. And then the 31st, I'm bringing back Wordsmith Art. I haven't taught that since before the pandemic. That was the last in-person class I taught, crazily enough. So I just feel like it's time. It's time. And that is where we art journal in a old dictionary. I know there are other people who are doing it now, but I started that years and years ago. So so you'll just get my my version. Oh, it's storming today in Florida, Laura. Oh, golly. It's sunny and it's going to be a scorcher here in Arizona. I'm sure your sister has told you. So I just wanted to talk about the calendar a little bit so that we make sure that we, make sure that we are all on the same page about what's happening in the month. And I promise starting in August, we'll kind of go back to our normal schedule. But, who knows? Something crazy might come up and I'll just let you know. So today I wanted to talk to, mail call. I got this beauty in the mailbox. I will just tell you, I just love getting something handmade in the mailbox. I do. It just makes me so happy. So Sue created this lovely card, number 1 for part of the challenge, and number 2, then she sent it to me. How cool is that? And I love, this is one where she used elements from a couple of different art printables for one card. Nothing makes me happier. That's a fun new kind of challenge and way to look at it all, I think. So anyway, thank you, Sue, for sending the happy mail. All the prize winners should be getting their prizes today, I believe. There's one that I'm still working on getting the address, but other than that, you all should be getting your prizes today. Look at this gorgeous bouquet I picked from my own garden. Aren't they gorgeous? I have these lovely zinnias and these Gerber daisies, and these are zinnias too, just a different little version. So I will just tell you now, I'm all about zinnias and what am I going to plant next year. And like, I love the ones like this who have layers and layers and layers of petals. So, I have a big idea for next summer. But anyway, I'm still getting lots of flowers, and I'm telling you, if you want something that's easy to grow and number 1 can tolerate the Arizona heat, and constantly produces gorgeous flowers, Gerber daisies, and they bloom in all different colors. Stop it. What could be finer than that? Not much. So let's start playing with our brand new art printable, and it is named after my Aunt Marie, who's just about the most delightful girl in all the land. Her name was Marie McCoy before she got married to my Uncle Bernie. And she is the most delightful. I do plant in pots because the soil in my yard is terrible. Terrible. Oh, everybody make sure you have your icy cold drink. And we need to keep reminding ourselves to drink all of those icy cold drinks, don't we? We need to stay hydrated. So Aunt Marie grew up on Sugar Island. Was born and raised there, and Sugar Island is so special to me. Hey, trees, you see the Aunt Marie art printable? I sent some watercolor paper to Sienna so you can print it at Sienna's. So you know, every time Teresa and I go to Sugar Island, we have to pick lots of wildflowers. So this time we went a little bit earlier than we usually go in the summertime. And so the flowers that were available to me were different than, this printable is on my website, Lita. It is at Corbiere-Scott There's a link in the right here in this post. There's a link for it. Anyway, so I can name almost all of the flowers that I drew for this one. I drew them in the back seat on the way home from our trip a couple weeks ago, last month, I guess. So this is lupine or lupin. Some people say lupine, some people say lupin. Buttercups. Do you remember rubbing buttercups under your friend's chin? Forget-me-nots, Queen Anne's lace, black-eyed Susans, Indian paintbrushes. And here's an interesting thing. There are Indian paintbrushes in Michigan that are very different than the Indian paintbrushes that are in Wyoming and Texas and Montana. It's kind of fascinating. A wild rose, right here, wild rose. And I think that's, this one we see every time. It's got pink, really skinny, little teeny tiny petals. And then the center is yellowish green. So I started that, and I'll start adding a little bit of green to that. But I really wanted to share this cool way to paint, to get some cool gradation with, let's see if I can, there we go. Okay, so if you cover one section in water, right? Just cover it in water, and then pull some of the well, let's see, that's not there. Now you should be able to see it. Okay, so now pull some of that color that you want to fill this with, and you're just going to tap that color right down here at the base. That's going to give you a really cool gradation of color. It's just going to kind of flow itself up. And you might have to help it along a little bit, but you're going to get this really a nice gradation of color in kind of a natural way. So for this one, let's do the same. Probably shouldn't have done something right beside the one I just did, but oh well. So we're going to do the same thing. This one is loaded with water, so it might take itself a while. So let's water. So this water is a little bit purpley, but it's okay because we'll have that base of color, and then we can just do that drop of the drop of color right there at the base, right where the stippling is, right? So let's do the same thing here. We're going to fill that with color, well, with water, and then let's come in with more color, and we're just going to let that fill up the petal. That's just a fun, I don't know, just kind of a fun way to create a nice gradation of color. So we're just gonna, again, just repeat the process. Fill with water and then add some color to the base. Some of these petals on the lupine or lupin have stippling at the top and the bottom, and so for those I like to fill it with water, And you notice I'm not filling it all the way right to the edge. That's okay, because we want that little bit of natural white edge. Okay, so I did the base right here, and now I'm gonna do up here. I'm gonna add a little bit at the tippity-toppity. So the same thing here, just gonna fill that with water. Then I'm gonna pull that color. Look how pretty that is. And it will just start to naturally flow up there. But like I said, you can help it along little by little if you'd like. So let me tell you about, isn't that cool? Isn't that so cool? Hi Maureen. Hi Donna. Isn't it a fun technique, Lita? I just think it's super fun, super fun. It just kind of makes it not look flat, you know? It like kind of automatically gives you some depth. So my Aunt Marie is just the most amazing woman. And I will just tell you, I could listen to her tell family stories forever. She's an amazing storyteller and has the most beautiful handwriting you've ever seen. Let's get a little more water in this one. Can you hear the leaf blower in my front yard? Honest to Pete. Anyway, she's just like has the most impish little oh, I'm telling you, my sister and I make a point of going to visit her every chance we can. And sometimes we sneak and record her. Sometimes we just savor those memories. That's for sure. She's just about the cutest. She just has the cutest little brown dancing eyes, and she has just this, she's just a little tiny lady, and she has oh, you guys, I'm loving this. It's, oh, you know what? We have lots of historians in our family, Laura, but she's one of the main ones, that's for sure. And she will celebrate her 98th birthday this month. We are awfully lucky to come from such a long, thanks Keels, from such a long line of sturdy stock. Well, Keely's been to Sugar Island, so she knows why it's so special to me. Both sides of my family, hail from Sugar Island. So my parents have known each other their whole lives. How crazy is that? That's an unusual thing, I think. Hey Donna, how are you? I'm just loving this. So Lita, I'm using my water brush just for you today. I thought you would appreciate that. Okay, so I'm gonna let those dry and turn. I will tell you, Lita, our family prides itself on its oral history, that's for sure. So, hey, so let's see. Let's paint the, oh, I wanted to add some green to the center of this flower. And we have no idea what the name of this flower is, but the pink one, but this center is kind of, yeah, but you have humidity, don't you, Donna? Yikes. Oh, it's kind of limeish greenish, I think, the center, but a little bit yellowy. So I'm gonna kind of start adding little bits of green. Okay, so these, the Michigan Indian paintbrushes are this brilliant orange. So I'm going to start painting those. So, hey, does anybody have any guesses what the new Tim Holtz color is going to be? It is supposed to be, isn't it going to be announced on the 17th of July, I believe? Everybody take a drink. So I want to paint these two. I'm feeling like I want to create kind of a watery wash of the color, of the base color, and then come back in with some deeper shades for more definition and depth. So I just want to kind of get my base color. Down first. And then on Thursday, let's create some cards with this art printable, because the possibilities are endless. Because it's all one sheet, we can cut it apart in a million different ways, right? Oh, thanks, Donna. Oh, Lita, absolutely, absolutely. You just think they had to, our ancestors had to endure so much, you know? Nothing like, I mean, us today, it's kind of nothing in comparison, you know? So I just want to make the base of these a little bit darker, but I'm kind of wanting to add that color while it's still a little bit wet. See what happens. Maureen, this printable is on my website, and Corbiere-Scott-Designs.com. There's a link in the in this post. At the beginning of this post, there's a link. Oh, Donna. Very cool. Very cool. Will you take a picture of it? I would love to see it. I would love, love, love to see it. So on Thursday, like I said, let's make some, I'm going to work on painting up these, honest to Pete, painting up this art printable, and then, we can make some cards with it on Thursday. I think that'll be cool. And I can show you the versatility of my art printables. I'm super excited to share that. feel like it's already, this is a little dark down here, so let's try and pull some of that color off. Now let's do this one. Remember, we're not in a race, we're just taking our time, warming up our creative muscles. Don't be in a rush. This should be a nice, like, kind of meditative practice, right? I'm trying to not be stressed out about the big loud leaf blower. Outside of my kitchen door. I'm gonna pull some more of that. Just layers of that color. Okay, thanks, Keels. I'm like, can you guys hear that? Because it is so loud. Let's see. Oh, Joni and I went to the art supply store the other day. Ugh. I could just stay there for hours, you know? So I'm going to just start deepening the base of all of these little tiny petals of the Indian paintbrush, because they all kind of come from the center. So remember, anything that's low like that, that's under things, is going to be a little deeper color. So we're going to, these right here are going to be deeper than the ones on top, right? And then these right here are going to be deeper than the ends of these. That's like really starting to take shape. I'm loving that. Let's see. The base of these is a little darker. So I'm going to put some color on there and then pull that out. Get this. And use some of that color in here. Don't waste that color. Find another place for it, if you can. And you know, you notice that I'm just adding it in that jiggy-jaggy way. And just like slowly start to pull it out, little bit by little bit. Then jiggy-jaggy. Soften the edge right there. Now let's do the same thing here. I'm going to pull that out. One little skinny petal in that bud right there. Okay, so let's do this. So I had this idea. Oh, I think I'm out of water. I had this idea. For these I'm gonna wait till they dry, Sue, and see what I've got Do you know what I mean? These, I've started to kind of soften them. So I'm going to come back in here. Like if it has a I tried to go a little closer today. Does that help when I bring the camera closer to the paper? Does that help? Let me know. But these, like where there's a harsh edge, like right here, I will come in and just try to do that jiggy blend. Sometimes I'll leave the edge because it just kind of looks cool, and it might create some create a little bit of a different kind of dimension. Do you know what I'm saying? But let's see, can you, oops, oh, I'm dripping all over. Whoops. Can you see what happened? My when I lifted that up, this whole area drip. I need to find a clean spot on my paper towel. We'll work on that as it dries. Let's see. What can I share? Oh, so let's do this wild rose. So I'm going to show you how I can do that same technique in a big area. So let's see. So here's, I'm doing one petal at a time, right? So I fill one petal with water, and now I'm going to come over here to the pink. I'm going to start by adding some of that color right there. And I'm just going to kind of like gently pull it into that water, but not enough to like disturb the water. Do you know what I mean? And now that this now that the water in the paint has activated pretty good and I moved it around a little bit, I'm going to come in with some more pigmented, like some more saturated color, and I'm going to do that same thing where I'm just like little by little pulling some of that color down the water. So this is just another way to apply color if you'd like. So I'm going to wipe off the excess. So I use, Lita, 90-pound Canson XL series watercolor paper. And I am today, my goal is today, I will have my Amazon affiliate links up. And so it will be on my website, and then you'll know exactly what I get. It's thin enough that it runs through my printer. I have a laser printer, but I have friends who it runs through their inkjet printer also. And it's but it still gives you the properties of watercolor paper. It's not like high-end arches or anything, but it's enough that you can still get watercolor effects as you paint. And like I said, it'll run through your printer. And it's perfectly fine for cards, I think. Take a drink, everybody. Let's see. Oh, let's do another petal. So I like to turn my paper so that it's most comfortable for me to paint. I try really hard to make myself not make it so that my hand has to be wrenched in a funny position, because I feel like that really has an effect. So I filled this one with water, and now I'm adding some color And I'm just pulling it ever so gently down the petal. So I have a feeling that this is, yes, it's it's very different than your watercolor paper, or your, excuse me, your cardstock. Watercolor doesn't move, watercolor just doesn't move the same on cardstock. I mean, you can certainly watercolor on cardstock. You just won't get the, you just won't get the, you won't get the nice blend that you get with watercolor paper. Does that make sense, Lita? Oh, Keely, I wish you were here to help me do that. I think it's going to be a big to-do, but once it's done, it's done. You know what I mean? So I'm going to add some more pigment here. I'm hoping that this really dries kind of right the way it is. I think that'll be beautiful. Okay, let's fill this one with water. Like, I'm putting quite a bit of water. I mean, it would be interesting to see what happens when you don't do as much water. It will be interesting to see what the blend is, what the effect of not as much water, what happens then. You know what I mean? It will be interesting. So I'm just squeezing a drop of water on there, moving it around, coming back and getting some of that pink. And just little by little, adding some of that, moving it ever so slightly, and then just letting it be. That's the hardest part, isn't it? Just letting things be. So for these, I thought it might be kind of cool. So I just did a blob of pink around all those little skinny petals. But then I thought it would be cool to come in with, on the end of this thin, on this detail brush, this detail water brush, to come in with some straight pigment and then just paint ever so slightly on the tips of those I just thought this might add some cool dimension on top of that pink, so it gives the illusion that you have like stacks and stacks and stacks of these skinny little petals. But then if we come in with the deeper pink right down the center of those skinny petals, I feel like that might give us some nice dimension and definition. It's a little bit tedious, but that's okay, because you know what? I'm just devoting some time to this morning. My mental health is worth it. Because when I take time to do, just remember we talked about the other day, just taking time to have a little bit of peaceful practice in your day, especially if we can start our day with some peaceful practice, oh my gosh. I can kind of draw back on that as the day goes by, you know? Because things happen, you get stressful moments, but just pull back on that peaceful time when you were just slowly building up some pink petals on that flower, that unnamed flower. It's probably a weed, but seriously, who knows? I just think it's so beautiful. And we do see them every summer. See, I feel like that's really adding to the dimension of this flower. That little bit of additional pink. I think it's helping. No, the blue flowers are lupines or lupins. I don't know, you know, different people call them different things, but they are so beautiful, and we saw fields of them. They were just, oh my gosh, fields of them. They were so beautiful. And they, my mom shared a picture with us of, that she took of the lupines years ago, and they were all different. There were pink, like pale pink and hot pink and light purple and dark purple. This time we only saw purple, I believe. It was crazy. And we picked a whole bunch, and then I can't wait to share the photo we took of them. We had all kinds of wildflowers, and we put them in my dad's welly in the back of the car, his boot, his and oh my gosh. Then we took that boot out, and we took a picture of it against a tree in my grandma's yard. It's perfection. That's for sure. See, I feel like that little bit of deeper pink is really, and these don't have to be perfect by any means. You just want that definition. You just want that little bit of a deeper shade. I feel like that's really making a difference. So pretty. See, I'm feeling like that's really doing exactly kind of what I wanted it to do. The purple, how are we doing on time? The purple, I'm not going to be able to, that's not going to be dry probably, but before class is done. But this purple, so these down here, I didn't add as much water, so I'm anxious to see what happens with these, because I added much more water and more concentration of color, and so it will be interesting to see how that all plays out. I'm going to finish this pink, and then I think I'm going to move on to Black Eyed Susan, the Queen Anne's Lace. I still have all of the Forget-Me-Nots to do. And then this Buttercup, I really feel like I want to deepen down here with some, like an orangey yellow. So I think I'm going to probably mix up my own orangey yellow to get a nice deep buttery center. Is anyone painting along with me? I hope. Oh, those crisp pink lines are really, they're like just what I wanted. Hey, I saw something on the internet as I was scrolling around this morning, and it inspired me to try and inspire all of you to send a card of unusual kindness today. That's cool, right? I thought that was really a cool thing to say. We all have somebody who we know could use a little kindness. I mean, everybody can use some kindness, right? And like I said, there's nothing like getting some happy mail in the mail, especially in your mailbox, especially if it's handmade. Ooh, Keels, do you see Teresa's? There you go, there you go. Let's see. So Queen Anne's lace, these are white, but I think I'm feeling this base is green, and the flowers are white, but they're kind of a creamish color, so I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I'm still hemming and hawing about that. The forget-me-nots have a yellow, like a bright yellow center, and then like a periwinkle petals. So I'm feeling like if I mixed up this brightish blue with I'm running out of water in this one too. Let's see if I can just fill it. Nope. They all have that little black stopper, and that means I've got to fill them in the sink. So I'm going to just start using a brush to fiddle around with this. Because I don't want to use up my time, you know. Run into the bathroom to get more water. So I'm feeling like if I use this purple and the turquoise color, that might make a really nice kind of periwinkle. Shush up, look at that. So pretty. So I want to do like a nice watery wash on my petals. So you see, like I came in pretty heavy on that flower, on that petal. So now I'm going to take color from there and pull it into all of the other petals. So that will help me have consistent color, number one, on all of my petals, and get rid of all that excess color that I got here. So I think I'm going to kind of do the same thing here. I'm just going to paint in this one and then pull color from there. Because this is bluer than I wanted, but if it's a good base, you know what I mean? I feel like I can there we go. That's not a bad blue, I don't think. I just want to get that base color, and then I can kind of fiddle around with what I think might, hi Lisa. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are painting on my brand new art printable named Aunt Marie. And then on Thursday, so we have this pop-in paint party twice a week. Almost always on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We always paint, and sometimes we make cards. Usually on Thursday, we do a little card finishing. So we're just kind of filling in those forget-me-nots. Hey Carol, how are you? So I'm going to turn my paper so I can get to these forget-me-nots over here. And then we've got a little bit of color on there. I like to paint in very watery layers. I feel like I get nice painterly effects that way, and then my painting isn't overwhelming. Do you know what I mean? It's not, as long as I do watery layers, then I have room for layering some nice color and some nice texture and building dimension. If you paint it one straight coat of blue, then you're not going to get the chance to build all of that dimension that God just put in those flowers. All on his own. So I am just going to finish up with these. I have a lot of color there. Let's pull that over to this petal. I'm feeling like if I do this watery wash of color, I just had a big idea. If I just fill these petals with this watery blue, and then I come back in with some watery purple, but like the purple that we used up here, which is already kind of a blue purple, if we just, I'm just gonna pull some of that and add some water. You know, always mix your colors, guys. Use that color wheel. So look, let's do a little bit of this. Add little bits of that purple. And do you see how that is automatically creating not a flat blue petal anymore, right? Like we're just jiggy-jaggy adding that next color on top of our first watery wash, and pull some color from the excess that's on that one petal. And this is going to create automatic dimension. And you see how I'm not filling the whole space with that color. I'm just wanting to do that jiggy-jaggy blend where I just kind of just add that color in, and then I can come back and do the jiggy-jaggy blend on the edges if I want, right? And we leave some little spaces of white because that's going to create some cool dimensions, and we're going to remain painterly, right? We want it to look like it's hand painted because it is, right? So I'm just adding there. Oh, thanks, Nance. Thank you. So I'm going to add a little bit more water, get a little bit more of that purpley blue. And then let's do the same thing here. We're just going to add a little bit of that purpley blue on top of the lighter blue beginning. And remember, the lighter blue beginning color was a hand mixed color, right? Just know that in your palette of watercolors, you have the ability to make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of custom colors. So just use that palette. Remember, try really hard to not paint right from the pan of color. try to mix your own, or at least pull the color out onto your palette so that you can see the true color. I know we all like get caught up and sometimes we paint right from the pan, but it's best if you pull it out onto your palette, because that's going to let you know what the true color is. If you have too much paint on your paintbrush, just tap it off on your paper towel. And then here we did that jiggy blend, right, with that damp brush, and that's going to, watch that. See how that just automatically blends that out. Let's finish this last flower up. Some more of this deeper purpley blue, and that's gonna, your flowers are gonna be so much more interesting if they're not just one color. Do you know what I mean? If they have shades of lots of colors, you'll feel the difference. Even this little bud, let's get a little bit of that deeper purple in there. So let's let that sit, and then we can work that out with our jiggy blend, right? This, I find myself saying jiggy blend. You absolutely should say jiggy blend. You absolutely should. I should probably coin that phrase, shouldn't I? But the jiggy blend, I will tell you, really, makes it an easier blend. Do you know what I'm saying? Hey, Renee. So I'm gonna come back up here. Now I've rinsed my brush and I've tapped it off on my paper towel so that I have just a damp brush. And now we're gonna come in and we're gonna do that jiggy blend where we just jiggy. So we're just softening that edge, and that really, I think that just creates such a nice blend of colors and so much visual interest. And the cool thing is, thanks, Keels, the cool thing is that we haven't even started with our yellow center, which in forget-me-nots, I just love that their center is almost like a star. It's so pretty. So we're just softening those lines ever so slightly, because I like some of that feathery edge of color sometimes. It's, but it's whatever you prefer, whatever aesthetically pleasing to you. Jiggy. And I just like to tap off the excess paint onto my paper towel so then I'm not, especially if I'm just blending out, if I'm softening an edge. But remember, we can pull some of that color that we've pulled off of the pieces that we're softening. You've still got that color on your brush, and so you can bring that and just ever so slightly pull up the sides, the edges of those petals, and that's automatically going to create this nice roundness to the edge of your petals. There you go, just pull up that side. And remember, it doesn't matter what paints you use, what brushes you use. You just have to get to know whatever tools you have. The most important thing is that you're making art every day. There we go. That is so pretty. Like, I am really so pleased with that. Oh, I love it. Then little by little, this one, you had a really nice deep to light. That's nice. And the way you get to know your tools, and by tools I mean the brushes that you use, the paper that you print on, the paint that you use, is through practice. Practice. Just get to, the more you paint with them, the more you'll get to know their capabilities. The more you'll know that if you paint on watercolor paper, you need to use this much water. But if you paint on copy paper, you need to use this much water. You can have beautiful results with whatever tools you use. With just practice. Practice makes progress. Isn't that what they say? I believe that's true. I mean, with anything in life, right? If you're learning how to boil eggs, the more you boil those eggs, the more you, like, nope, 5 minutes isn't enough. 8 minutes works just fine. 3 minutes is not working at all. If I salt the water, this happens. If I, do you know what I mean? All of that experimentation works the same with painting projects. Yes, practice. It's true. It's true. And, I mean, this isn't a hard thing to practice, right? It's painting. It's a lovely thing. And you're doing something nice just for you, you know? It's all about practice. There we go. I'm loving those. Loving them. Like this one, I'm feeling like I want to do a little bit of, like, I want to mix the red and the orange to get some even deeper depth of color at the base of each of these little teeny tiny petals. I feel like that'll be really nice. I was hoping that I was hoping that these purples would be dry by now, but they're not. And my heat tool is upstairs. But I'm loving this because this is feeling really quite blendy. Like really, like the blend has, I think that might, when I drew that, I think that petal goes underneath the lupine. I think I want to bring some of that bright pink over here. Remember, you might have to help it along a little bit, but it will make a beautiful blend. Just to do that, paint your water on first, and then just dab color. And like I said, you can pull some of that color right to the edge of your petal. So these are the Indian paintbrushes, which are very different than the Indian paintbrushes in other parts of the country. These are forget-me-nots, Buttercup, lupine, wild rose, Queen Anne's lace, black-eyed Susan, and this seems like a blossom of some kind. Like maybe I picked like an apple blossom or something. I don't remember. I have to go back through my pictures. For the most part, I know them. Teresa and I have been hunting wildflowers on that island forever and a day. That's for sure. And that's where I'm going. I'm going back next week. So I'll be anxious to see if I see different wildflowers on this trip. For sure. I'm super excited. I'm super, super excited. Well, it looks like I've run over once again. I hope that everybody is having an amazing time painting Sugar Island wildflowers. If you haven't already purchased them, remember that you can purchase all of my art printables at Corbiere-Scott-Designs.com. If you're brand new here, Lisa and Carol, I would love for you to follow and like Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And then ask to join my private Facebook group, Let's Get Artsy with Anne Corbiere-Scott. That is the kindest, loveliest, most creative group of pals you'll ever have. Everyone is super kind there. That's my big rule, is no meanies are allowed. One of the questions to join is I ask you if you'd like to be in the know of what's happening in the artsy world of Anne Corbiere-Scott Designs, and so I'll ask for your email address. I send out an email that's more pictures than text, and that goes out almost every Friday, although next week it'll go out on Thursday. And it just lets you know what's coming up. So, Lita, we will talk more about Sugar Island on Thursday, so tune back in. And we'll make some cards. I can hardly wait to share that. I'm super excited to share some cool ways to use this kind of art printable, the full page art printable, to create many cards from one sheet. So, until Thursday, I bid you adieu. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.